And we're live. Look at there.
Hey everybody,
Hey,
how's everybody doing?
they're not there yet.
I know, baby. I'm
They
going
can't talk back to you.
I know I'm speaking because a lot of people go back and look over this.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of know what I'm doing.
You do?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, more than you think I do.
I tell people you need all the help you can get
Yeah,
with technology.
yeah, technology.
Technology. Because I need that help too.
Do you need that help too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I need bubble wrap also.
Hello, we got somebody.
No, we don't.
Well, it went to one.
What went to one?
The person.
That's a like.
Oh, okay. No, there was a one over on the other side.
Oh.
Well, the person was. Then it went back to 0.
Yeah. And they liked it. So whoever it was, hi. All right. So lives are not just about homesteading. Lives, Miss Sam. Hi. And Joyce Dillard says hello. Hey, Miss Dillard. I didn't know she knew we had a YouTube.
Okay, good to see.
So our lives is not just homesteading, and it's not just Friday Fireside Chat videos. It's about any topic y'all want to talk about out there in general.
Right.
So today we're going to get started with common myths and busting them.
All right.
You want to start? You have one?
You go ahead.
Do you have to have a rooster for eggs?
No.
Sister, don't even start that. There are a lot of people out there that think you have to have a rooster to get eggs. You do not have to have a rooster to have eggs.
Only if you want fertilized eggs.
What he said. That's what she said. Miss Sam said for fertilized, yes. So that is a common myth, and it is busted because them hens, everything, they're kind of like people. Every egg we'll ever produce is inside that hen already, and it is laid whether a rooster is there or not. All right, next myth. White eggs taste bad. White eggs taste bad. Grocery store eggs. All the eggs in the grocery store are white, so therefore, if I have a white egg on my farm, it don't taste good.
Well, that ain't right.
No.
Because that Leghorns lays a white egg, and that was a very good egg. It was just as rich as the colored eggs.
So the reason for the flavor difference is what they eat.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what color the egg is. It's going to taste the same. We get all different colors out in the chicken flock, and they all taste alike. It doesn't matter what the shell color is. The inside is alike on all of them because ours is out there eating grass and bugs and scratching around and doing what happy chickens do.
They the ones you're getting in the store are coming out of big layer houses that's just feeding commercial feed.
And that's all they get.
And they bleach them too and everything too, don't
they? They clean them, yes.
Yeah.
It's not technically
bleached, but yeah.
But
so they you can tell most of the time a difference in a egg from a yard flock than you can from a commercial flock. When you crack it open.
Absolutely.
The color will be just.
And even if it's not different, that yolk stands up prettier, and I mean it's such a different egg on the inside compared to a grocery store egg.
Other myth would be about cold weather keeping them from laying. It's not cold weather.
Yeah, it's not cold weather that keeps the chickens from laying.
Stress can.
Stress can. That's what we talked about during the freezing temperatures. How the freezing water, they're not getting enough water to produce the egg. And if they have a break in feed for some reason, that also causes egg laying to have a problem.
Because that's stress. Yeah,
stress. Miss Sam knows.
Okay,
she already put it on there. It's light of day length.
Right, that is correct.
Yep. So it's the daylight from dawn to dusk. and you got to have X amount of hours to produce an egg.
Right.
And that's why in like summertime on the cloudy days, you might not get the best production because the sun's not out, basically.
Right.
It does affect the egg production on those days.
Right.
So,
but stress can cause that too.
Yep.
Through
Stress
weather,
causes that.
through other different things.
Yep. I had one on the tip of my tongue and I just forgot it. It was important too. Oh well.
Okay.
Do chickens get colds?
No.
Chickens do not get colds, guys. Don't let nobody teach you that. We don't just throw antibiotics out at chickens with colds. Hey, Flat Rock, glad you could join us.
Hey, Flat Rock.
Chickens get contagious respiratory diseases. That's what they get. And most people don't have their flock tested when they get a disease. So they have no clue what they've got.
And what most people don't realize is coryza is probably a lot more prevalent than we think it is.
Oh, yes, because that's probably your number one chicken cold that nobody's treating.
Yeah, well, we said there wasn't no such thing as a chicken cold.
That's what I'm saying. They're calling it colds.
I know.
Yeah, they're calling it colds.
It's actually a respiratory
we
issue.
have coryza in our flock. I learned a lot when we found out we had coryza.
So in other words, we have a closed flock, so we
Yep.
don't sell chickens. We don't sell babies.
Nope. We can sell babies. I have to incubate them and brood or raise them. They can never be around the chickens.
Right.
Yeah.
And we can sell eggs because it does not affect the egg. And it does not affect the chicken's meat.
Mm-mm.
In other words, if you have it, you can still eat your chickens.
Yep.
And it's not transferable to humans.
That one is not.
Right.
Now, we're going to touch on a subject that's not a myth, but it kind of is. How many of y'all think if I go to an NPIP certified hatchery that I'm getting healthy birds with no diseases? There's only one thing that NPIP really tests for, and that is avian influenza, which is another respiratory disease that chickens get. And the reason they test for that is because it will pass to people.
Right. And what's the other one I thought they checked for?
Look at bird flu. That's it. This Miss Sam knows this chicken stuff.
What's that other one?
Merrick's.
Merrick's.
Does it actually test for Merrick's?
I thought they did.
I didn't think it did, but maybe.
I don't know.
I think it's just avian influenza that they're looking for in your flock.
I thought they
because
did for that other one too.
They can test for salmonella, but it's I think it's $10 more.
Merrick's, you got to kill everything. And
yes.
You can't have nothing there no more.
You cannot, not on that ground. The thing for us for coryza, it's not a cull by the state order because it's not passable to humans, but it is a cull or close your flock disease because it is contagious in other birds. And when I say other birds, I should be actually saying in other poultry, because
turkeys,
poultry includes
quail,
turkeys, quail, pheasants, ducks, although ducks can't get it.
I was going to say ducks can't get it.
They don't get it, but I think they can still carry it.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not 100% sure on that one. Waterfowl is separate, even though it's type of poultry.
Right.
Turkeys, guineas, pheasants. How many people knew emus were a type of poultry?
Yeah.
And ostriches. Those are types of poultry, and all of them are affected by coryza.
Right.
And probably by all of the different types of poultry respiratory diseases.
Right.
But so we have it, and we make sure that people know we have it and that they go home and bleach their shoes. We are lucky in our disease. All we have to do is get rid of all the poultry for 2 weeks. And then we can start over. And that's why I can incubate eggs.
It has to have a host to live.
Mm-hmm, exactly. That's why I can incubate eggs and hatch them out and put them in a brooder, because it doesn't pass the eggshell membrane and it dies after 2 weeks. So chickens take 21 days to hatch. 2 weeks is 14. So it dies out before that. So it's a good thing.
What are some of the other myths?
Well,
Pumpkins.
Pumpkins for worms and constipation. Pumpkins do not fix constipation. It fixes diarrhea. Yep. And I have not seen any evidence that points to pumpkins curing worms or preventing worms. I've not tested that one, so we're going to leave that part of the myth open, but it doesn't cure constipation in your dogs and stuff. It cures diarrhea.
But I see no problem with feeding to it your animal.
Oh, no, they love it.
They love it. And it's got vitamins they could use and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know that it's actually a very good wormer. Another one that I'm fixing to bust that's going to make everybody upset, I think, is diatomaceous earth. So diatomaceous earth works on killing bugs and things because it's got sharp points. It's got sharp points. And then you have to keep putting it out when it gets wet, because once it gets wet, it's not effective.
Right.
It basically dissolves them sharp points. Everybody keeps saying, feed it to your animals and it'll deworm them.
I don't know about this.
If you put it in your animal or in yourself, because I know people take a spoonful a day of this stuff, it gets liquefied and therefore it's not killing anything. So diatomaceous earth as a wormer, that needs to stop. Because that's expensive to not work.
The only way you really get rid of bugs is two ways. And that's mechanical or chemical.
Yeah. Well, the mechanical version is going to be preventative.
Yeah.
That's the main way.
Walking through your garden every day.
Picking bugs
and mashing them.
And
that's what my daddy did on green beans.
How to keep worms out of animals? Keep moving them.
Keep moving them.
Clean ground.
Throw lime on the ground too.
Yep. So there's
lime sucks the moisture out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, here living in the South, we need as much lime on the ground as we
can.
You know,
I think that this diatomaceous earth as a wormer got started because people were using it as a preventative and doing all the other methods too, and they just put two and two together and said it worked. I think it was more of a...
And it may work at certain times. I don't know. I mean,
not once it gets wet, not as a wormer.
Not as a wormer, but what I'm saying, if you went out at 12 o'clock during the day and maybe put it out.
Oh, yeah. Put it on the ground and them slugs.
Every morning you're going to have a heavy dew. So I don't know. I mean...
Yeah. I mean, it can work.
I hadn't done enough.
But as a wormer in animals and people, I don't think so.
The only thing I ever seen really works is ivermectin on worms.
Well,
and a few others.
And I was going to say, there's some others, but the best thing is prevention to start with. Right. That way you don't have to worry about what do I use as a wormer.
That's why a lot of the homesteaders have these chicken tractors, and they have where they rotate their cattle, their sheep, their goats. They're continuously moving them,
and it gets away
one
from
other
the chemical
animal come in behind and help kind of clean up behind.
He just brought up another myth.
What?
My chickens got worms from my dogs, or the cows got worms from my chickens, or the rabbits got worms from the chickens. Worms are zoonotic. They like a certain species. Yep. Same for coccidiosis. They're zoonotic. They don't go back and forth from different breeds or species, I should say. Now, chickens are poultry, so all poultry can get it.
Right.
But it's not going to pass from a chicken to a dog.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's why they're doing that. They're moving them around all the time.
That's right. Trying to keep that cycle down is when you move and you move another animal, it helps clean up that area.
Spreads it out.
Hogs, chickens. Because the chickens will get in like the cattle manure.
Or any of them.
And scratch it up, and they'll eat the larva out of the manure. And it's a good cycle. That's why our ancestors probably didn't have the problems we have. Yeah. Plus, we've chemical treated everything now, so for the animals, all the insects were building up
Yeah, resistance.
So I don't know what we're going to do in the next 20, 30 years. When
We'll have to go back to some natural practices.
Right.
And the things are going to start costing so much.
I think we're finding out the mechanical farming is actually was a rough way to do things, but it worked. I think we're even starting to find that out with some of the plowing, where they went no-till and had to use chemicals. They're starting to find out that the other way may have actually been working better.
It had some benefits too.
Yeah. Especially certain areas where you live. Some ground, it needs to be broke every so often.
Like here in the South where we're just clay.
Yeah, because that hard pan get started, and I know you want to build residue on your land. That way it makes it softer. But at the amount of rain we get here in the South, a lot of our topsoil and everything gets washed away too, because of poor farming practices years ago when they were farming hillsides and stuff that shouldn't even been plowed, but they was trying to make a living and eat, so you can't really fault them on it. So, oh yeah, the other one was apple cider vinegar.
Oh yeah, you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we're gonna bust a lot of bubbles with this one. Apple cider vinegar being good for all your livestock and everything.
I don't see where it hurts them.
Oh, it doesn't. It does not hurt them at all. Yeah. But if you think about, I'm putting a teaspoon or a tablespoon into a gallon of water or 2 or 3 gallons of water, the effectiveness of that is gone. And on that one, guys, there is studies that show it. That one has been researched by more people than me. I was actually surprised when I saw some of that research. And I don't remember where that research is. It was on Facebook. Somebody shared a link to me on Facebook, and I went reading it. And of course, my Facebook is gone. So therefore,
everything you read on the internet ain't true.
That's true. Well, and that's what I was telling you.
So
there's enough information
for
both sides that you really don't know which side to believe.
That is the thing with about anything now, is there's so much information out there that you really don't know what to believe. And all you can really do is find what works for you and keep. And when you find something that works, stick with it.
Yep.
I mean, I always like to improve and try to make things more efficient.
But if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, it's kind of I see that at work all the time. We're doing stuff we shouldn't even be touching, yet we got equipment over here that needs servicing and we don't touch it. And I'm going like, why are we doing it this way? Because I know that other piece of equipment's going to bite us in the tail down the road. So.
Or the ones where you guys sit there and watch it all night long.
Now, I will say about the apple cider vinegar one thing. I will say about it. When I used it that time.
Well, let me back that up.
Okay.
When you used it, you used a dose of it. You didn't thin it down in water.
No. As far as a detox, and I'm going to say this, I know this is ugly, that something wore me out, boy. It cleaned me out.
But you took, what was it, a tablespoon of it straight?
Twice a day.
But you did it straight.
I need to do it again and get this gut back off. When I done that, of course, now I quit eating a little bit too. I started watching my calories. But that first month on that stuff, I ain't trying to be graphic here.
Guys.
Woo! Everything's come out of me. I didn't know it existed, and I'm gonna tell you about my gut feeling better. Now my gut felt 10 times better.
But again, it wasn't diluted apple cider vinegar.
No, it was straight. It was rough too, especially at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Just get up out of bed.
That's like
and it don't help your breath none either.
No, yogurt is good for you. Yogurt is excellent for you.
Yeah.
But would you thin it down with a gallon of milk to still say it's excellent for you?
No.
So that's kind of where I am with the apple cider vinegar
but
thing.
I don't see where it hurt anything.
It doesn't hurt anything, and it actually changes the flavor a little bit and makes them drink a little more. So as long as they're drinking plenty of water.
Another thing I did notice about straight apple cider vinegar too, it did help curb appetite a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know now.
Well, we don't want to curb appetite in our livestock.
No, but and here's the thing you got to remember: a lot of things are gimmicks
Mm-hmm.
to get things started to sell a
Oh
product.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, we have
Yeah.
apple cider vinegar in the poultry aisle now at
Yeah.
Tractor Supply. I was like, really?
Yeah. So
And it's not cheap.
you might be careful talking about that on.
Well, no, it's marketed for poultry. You haven't noticed in one section of the store
You're
it'll
not
be this price and
understanding what I
another.
just said.
No, I am. You ever noticed in one section of the store it'll be this price, but you put it in another section and market it a different way? It's a different price. Same product.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who all we got on here?
Let's see. We have Kathy Mellon on here now.
Oh.
Flat Rock and Coin is here tonight.
Okay.
And Miss Sam and Joyce Dillard is here.
Hello, everybody.
That's the ones that's commenting. That's not necessarily all the ones that are here, but
Okay.
you know.
Glad to see everybody on.
Yep.
Glad to see everybody. I hope y'all have had a good week. Well, I know we got some severe weather coming back in Alabama tomorrow, so y'all be watching the weather. Maybe it won't get too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Hope everybody had a good New Year's. Hope the New Year's has started off real good for you. I hope all of us have a good year.
Oh yeah.
I hope so.
Well, I got one more myth wrote down.
Okay.
And I'm gonna need for y'all to start sending in some of your myths, and let's talk about them. But
well, if you'll send us questions in, especially like comments after the live, or you can go comment. And two, we'll go back and check the live comments. But if you got questions, we'll take them, and for the next live, we'll be ready for them and talk about it, and see if, what is it?
Flat Rock.
Okay. We'll talk about it, and get in, or try to have you an answer. We ain't experts, but we'll try to have an answer.
Yeah.
Kind of like that old saying, jack of all trades, master of
none.
That's it. So,
well, let me tell you what Flat Rock said. He said, as a kid, we were given castor oil weekly. Can't say if that's the reason, but never had the flu and hardly ever sick with colds. Well, castor oil is not the cure-all like that, but I will say this. There are so many things in our body that can be corrected by being regular. And I think that's what castor oil did for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our digestive system, if it's working right,
mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering too if at one time our immunities maybe were built up a little better.
Probably.
Than they are now. I don't know.
Definitely, because look at what we eat. Look what we're exposed to.
Yeah, a lot of processed food.
Mm-hmm.
And that processed food ain't good for us. I mean, I got a stomach to say it. Because we're not fully where we need to be on the farmstead. It takes time to build it and get yourself to where you can, handle it. It just takes time, especially when you got to work a public job.
Yes, Tractor Supply sells cat food.
Yep.
And right now we have a lot of it in.
What the deal is with
Walmart
the cat food
is empty still.
Well,
last I checked.
What about like the Dollar Generals and?
I didn't check.
All those.
I gave up checking after I couldn't find what I needed.
I looked that up.
I just changed
on the internet to
brands.
see if there was a shortage on cat food.
There's not.
It's not really saying anything.
It's not saying anything.
I don't know.
Meow Mix we had, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know what the deal is with that.
So back to the regularity and health concerns. So Honda, Mark's insurance. Okay. Mark's insurance makes us do a wellness check every year where we get our blood work and all and our numbers essentially. And so the first time I did that, I realized my, what's it called? The bad and the good. Cholesterol was inching up. It wasn't bad, but it was inching up to those levels. My blood pressure is, in that range that's iffy. So I started doing some research, even migraines. I started doing some research on how to get the cholesterol lower, get the blood pressure lower. And there's natural ways because I didn't want any medication. I just don't do medication well. And even the migraines, I've not wanted to be on migraine medicine. every one of them listed being regular to fix cholesterol problems, to fix blood pressure problems, to help migraines. And I was just like, wow, did not realize how many things were connected to being regular. So Flat Rock, there is some truth in that castor oil, even though it's not really what prevented the flu. It made your body healthy
That
in order
castor oil
to
may
avoid
just
it.
been killing everything you had. I don't know.
Yeah. So
Woo, I took it one time. Lord have mercy. That was
that's
rough.
what we did. My parents, Miss Sam, they gave it to us as a punishment. Yeah. If we were bad, we had a dose of castor oil. Ugh. Yeah. It was
That comes
awful.
from the castor bean too.
Do you think they lower those numbers to gain more customers? Lower what numbers? To gain more customers, Coin?
I don't know.
Let's see.
You talking about on cat food?
Don't know.
So
I
don't know.
Let's see. Next week, try to come in. Okay. Okay, so I was just reading through the comments. I have one last common myth written down, and it's organic weed killer.
But the only way you really get rid of weeds is mechanically.
Yep. Best way to get rid of them weeds without using, I hate to say Roundup and all that stuff, is to get out there and pull them. Get the root and all, because if you leave a root behind on some of them, you just made a new cutting.
The thing about Roundup, and they're starting to see problems with it already as far as a weed killer. And I know that's not an organic weed killer. That is a chemical processed weed killer. They're starting to find it's building resistance.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, the weeds and the grass are learning to build resistance to it.
That's why they created dicamba and all the other stuff.
So, also, they're finding out that Roundup is probably not a very good product health-wise.
Yeah.
And even in agricultural, they're finding out that they're having to put more and more of it on the fields to kill the
and get it stronger and stronger,
and it's starting to leave residue in the soil
and to build up.
And I think there was a study done here a while back by the Center for Disease Control, where each American right now has anywhere from 15 to 20% traces of Roundup in their body from us eating processed food. The only way you really get rid of weeds really is to dig them up and try not to let them head out with their seed pods. I mean, that's really the only way you get.
Yep.
Now, vinegar will burn it
that,
back. Vinegar will burn it back, but it doesn't kill the roots. It just kind of really burns the top.
It burns the leaves.
Now, salt will kill stuff, but you'd have to throw a lot of salt on it, and then you're running your ground where you throw in the salt.
Yeah, everybody thinks, let me mix up some vinegar, some salt, and some soap.
But now it can slow it down. There's no doubt about it.
But it's coming back.
Now, it might give you time to get situated where you can work on it better and dig it up. But I hate to say it. The other way you get rid of weeds is to keep smothering them out, too.
The feed is not making chickens lay less, Miss Kathy. It's the weather. I mean, it's winter. Sorry.
Yes,
it's the fact that it's winter, meaning there's less light available.
That or stress.
Yeah, or stress. All these storms.
Real cold weather.
9
it's
degrees.
Stressing them. It's not causing. But
no, we talked about eggs, and the reason they're not laying as well now is because of daylight hours. It takes X amount of hours to produce an egg, and in wintertime we don't get X amount of hours unless you add light to your coops.
Right.
And part of homesteading is being efficient, and we don't add extra money to the coops being spent on power and stuff. So Ours just slow down in the winter, and I'm okay with it. Chickens get a break because again, they have X amount of eggs built into them at birth, and once they lay out X amount of eggs, they have no more eggs. So I'm not rushing production of my birds, basically.
Right.
So,
Pretty
yeah.
much just pretty much most animals have that cycle, don't they?
Yes. Yep, all of them do. So yeah, apple cider vinegar. No, not apple cider vinegar. I'm sorry. So vinegar, salt, and soap, organic weed killer. It really doesn't do what we want it to as well as we want it to. It will burn it, but it will not kill the root. The soap, you know what the soap does actually? It makes it stick.
Yeah. Oh, it's just
it's a sticker.
Yeah.
It's a surfactant.
And too, most vinegar you buy from the stores is so diluted down.
Oh, you can get the strong stuff.
I know you can. I was fixing to
but it still ain't gonna work.
It'd burn it for a little while.
Not that root. So, yep, organic weed killer is another myth.
Yep.
Let's see what all comments we got. 18 eggs for $7. Round up. I replied to Miss Sam. She said Roundup Agent Orange killed her husband in Vietnam. Yep, I told her I didn't doubt that. I know several people that have lost to Agent Orange. Cardboard brings up the worms. Oh, that's what we do. We use cardboard up underneath mulch. And I'm not going to say it brings up the worms, but as it's decomposing, it helps feed the worms.
Well, it does help keep moisture there.
Mm-hmm.
And
which
worms need so much moisture.
And it keeps it cool.
And
because they don't like heat.
Yeah. And as the worms get to working, they soften the soil and add nutrients to it. And so.
All right. So what other myths do y'all have?
I know y'all can think of some.
Professional hemp grower. There we go. It just creates a good environment for them.
What's that?
The cardboard.
It does, and it helps keep weeds down.
Yeah.
And because what we do here a lot, we got an excess of oak leaves. Lord have mercy.
Feed sacks.
So around a lot of our fruit trees, some of our flower beds, we're just keep piling the oak leaves in them, letting them break down, and over time we're just building good soil. That brings the worms. Now it does bring some insects we don't want. I mean, like the tree roaches.
Really bring them. It just creates the right environment.
And so it does bring a few things you don't really want, but you just got to stay after it, killing them, getting rid of them. It'd be nice if you could let the chickens stay up around the house, but they'd scratch it all out.
Yeah, they would.
So leaves is a very good mulcher, very good composter. I don't understand people
burning them,
and I don't understand people putting them on the side of the road when they could be mulching their flower bed, because you could put them in your flower bed, and you can come and put the pine straw on top. And I used to do that at my other place, and I had some of the prettiest blueberry bushes and knockout roses and hydrangeas, and these things got huge. It's just because I kept adding, oak leaves and pine straw on top of each other, and built a big old bed, and it kept moisture in it too. It really made stuff grow.
Yep.
And she can tell you, she's seen them.
Oh yeah, they were big.
They were huge, and they produced beautiful flowers. My blueberries, Lord have mercy, they.
Plastic does help with weeds. It really does, because it smothers it out.
Yeah, it does. Anything you lay down,
oxygen.
That's like here. We this year or this past year we tried some of the road covers, and it seemed to work pretty good. Now we still had some stuff come up. You're gonna have stuff come up where the plant is, But actually, it worked pretty good. So we're going to be looking at that more and more.
Yeah. Black plastic is an excellent weed killer.
Now
but
it's
you
the
don't
woven
want
fabric now. The
no
woven.
plastic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, black plastic is an excellent weed killer. It also does the solarization up under there and kills by heating up the soil and all. But you don't want to grow under that black plastic.
Now you need
really
to get the woven where the water can still penetrate it.
Yep.
So
grew my whole field under plastic. Yeah, that's it is good.
Yeah, we're going to be converting our smaller garden. Now, the big field, I mean, it just costs too much
He probably
money.
did the plastic with the, what's that called?
Plastic
culture, yeah, with the lines and stuff up under it. So,
yeah, I'm still looking at that.
Irrigated.
Yeah. I've thought about doing that. In fact, I've seen somebody have one for sale the other day for $1,200. I said,
Yep.
Because most of the time they're $4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah, because we really need that out in the field.
Well, it worked good with watermelons. You could, and I've seen it work good with watermelons. Because you grow in 2 or 3 acres of watermelons.
You growing some.
Yeah, and then now corn.
Mm-mm.
I mean, a small patch it'd work, but a big field, I don't know.
I think that root of the corn, the way it grows, wouldn't work with the plastic culture very well.
But I've seen it done with the beans. They done real well. Because when Oak Grove had the community garden I helped with, I watched okra. So they had okra, watermelons, cantaloupes, beans, squash, tomatoes.
Yeah, he said no on the corn too. I mean,
Yeah, there was a few other things, and it done real well. But like the big pea patches, I think peas, you just need to plant them like you always have in corn. I think it'd be real labor intensive if you tried to do corn and stuff in it.
Well, and like I said, the way that root grows with going down into the soil roots, and all. Yeah.
I don't know how all that work. That was a real thing there for a while. I don't know why people are not utilizing it.
I'm glad the neighbor got a deer. They all left there's none back there.
Huh?
They all left, all the deer.
No, there's still some coming in and out.
What, 3?
A couple of those.
Compared to the 30 over summer?
Yeah. Well, it's just.
Yeah, Kathy said her neighbor got one.
Did he get one out there or did he get it somewhere else?
She just said he got one. We got one less deer to eat our corn this year.
Yeah. Well, you kill one, they 20 takes his place.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
We do need to harvest a few of these here.
At her pond.
We do need to harvest a few here.
Yeah.
You get a doe or you get a buck?
They got a deer.
Just got a deer. Because there is 2 nice bucks running around here.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't seen them on my game camera in the last week or so.
Yeah.
But I think I seen them.
Oh, he used a bow.
Oh, okay, that's good.
That's nice. I hadn't even pulled my bow out this year.
Yeah.
After we bought that nice bag for it and everything, I hadn't even pulled it out.
Yeah.
Spike.
Oh, okay.
Yep. All righty. So, I guess nobody has any more myths to talk about. Do you know any more?
Not off the top of my head, of course. I'll think of 4 or 5 once we get off the live, as I always do. Something hit me, and right now I can't really think of anything right offhand.
Yeah, I knew I should have wrote them all down the other day. Because we sat at the kitchen table talking about what we were going to do this live with. And I just rattled off a whole bunch and thought of more later, and they're all gone.
Yep. I'm trying to keep a dog pacified here.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I keep looking down a lot, trying to keep her pacified. I'm sitting here rubbing her belly with my foot. So,
yep.
But she's a big baby. Lord have mercy.
Oh my gosh, that dog is a big baby. Yes. So I guess we could talk about what we need to be doing this time of year for gardening. Weed killing.
Well, right now would be a good time to be adding leaves to your garden if you have them. I'd be getting the lime. The lime really should have done been put
Lime.
in 3 or 4 months ago because it takes about 6 months for it to really get in the ground. And if you want a good lime, I'd suggest a pelletized lime, which has got dolomite, magnesium, and of course calcium in it.
Mhm.
It comes in pellet forms. It's not very expensive, maybe $4
A
for.
little more expensive than the powder, though, isn't it?
A little more expensive, but it's
But it's
actually
better.
easier to handle.
Hmm. Got those micronutrients your gardens need too.
Right, right. I mean, if you got it in right now, you still be okay by June.
Any suggestions on ivermectin? When you're saying any suggestions, exactly what are you asking? Because we use ivermectin on our rabbits. I use a injectable, um, but I also just use it as a drop because some of my rabbits don't like shots. Um, so I just drop it inside their ears or on the back of their neck, like spot on treatment for dogs. I know some people give that same ivermectin to their dogs to um, treat them every month.
Yeah, some people do. I have in the past on
Mhm.
big hound dogs. Yeah, be careful.
Good or bad myths? Oh,
Good and bad myths. I
hmm.
don't know about that.
That's not one I want to get into the debate on because I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. I have seen both sides of that argument, and I don't know. I just don't know. Uh, I stick with the prescribed usage, meaning, well, it's not even really prescribed for the rabbits, but the vet actually told me the dosage and everything to use for our rabbits long ago. And using it as non prescribed, y'all,
I don't know.
I've always thought ivermectin was a parasiticide, meaning it treated parasites and stuff. Um, I did not know it would work on a virus. So that's where I am with this. Um, there's some rabbit holes that we could go down with that one. Um, so yeah, do you get it over the counter? We have it at Tractor Supply. We keep it behind a locked case. So I get
Yeah,
it.
most of your feed stores.
It's also in pastes and stuff for horses. I mean,
yeah, that's how I used to get my horses. I go buy the paste. It's a little syringe with the paste, real easy to give.
The paste is not locked in a cabinet; it's just there on the shelves. But the injectables and pour-ons are in a locked cabinet.
And my old veterinarian that I used for all my hunting dogs years ago, he was old country boy veterinarian anyway. And what I'm saying, he was raised on a farm and had a degree from Auburn in veterinarian, but he told me how to give the ivermectin to the dogs.
Yeah.
Where, because overdose, you could kill them. And it always worked pretty good. I didn't have any problem with worms.
Yeah, that topic of using it in humans is a controversial topic that I really don't have a stand on.
Yeah, because really don't know enough.
I know there are some doctors that will prescribe it. As far as buying from like Tractor Supply and stuff, and then using, I don't know, dosage or anything like that for human usage. I can tell you animal usage, and it's usually on the package for animals and stuff. But as far as treating viruses with that, I do not know. But yes, we do have it at our Tractor Supply and any feed store that you could visit. We have 2 feed stores in addition to Tractor Supply here in Sylacauga. So they all have it. So you just gotta, it's not going to be at Walmart. So you just got to go find where the livestock people go. So, but yeah, our Tractor Supply has it. But again, I'm not going down the rabbit hole with people and all. I've seen both sides of that, and I have no clue which side is right or wrong. So I can't bust that myth. I just can't. So Wish I could. So yeah.
Back to the gardening. Some of the other stuff you could be doing right now would be if your land is dry enough,
Ours is not.
you could be tilling it.
This is garden prep season. That's what winter is.
The other thing, repair your equipment.
Yes. This is garden
That's,
prep season.
Now I know a lot of people do small gardens where you don't really have to repair equipment much. I mean,
But you can sharpen your shovels. And,
that or repair any raised beds you got, or get old residue off of it, like the old plants. Get them off of it.
clean them up. Winter's perfect for that.
You can lay plastic over it right now. That way, when tillage time comes, all you have to do is move the plastic and won't have as much vegetation on top to fool with. Let's see. If you got drainage problems in it, right now would be a good time to fix them drainage problems if you could. Now, I'm meaning this from a person that maybe has a tractor who has a little bigger garden spot or a field. People that are doing small raised beds, or
now's the time to plant them too.
Yeah, that's true. Right now it's getting about time to plant your spring crops. Getting close to it.
You mean like in a greenhouse or in the ground?
Well, I'm talking about like lettuce and stuff you might could.
Oh yeah. You still have to baby them through the cold snaps. Man, everybody here lost all of their greens that they had planted, all their collards and cabbages. Everybody lost all of it here.
The wheat and oats down there is rebounding.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
We have a patch of wheat and oats.
I thought they might.
Well, they usually. I still want to get us to the point where we're growing enough wheat and oats to harvest. Still got to come up with me a little pull behind combine. That's what I got to find. But I keep setting regular combines real cheap, so I don't know. Yeah. It's just kind of. I seen a nice little Massey Ferguson combine the other day.
Easter. Yeah.
It wasn't real big, and it had a corn head with it too, like a 2-row corn head. So I said, "Man, that'd be about the size I really need." But
no, ma'am.
Sister, we got to do something. All right, come on.
I need you to get that down.
Let's go. Let's move. She wants to be on TV too. Ain't nothing but a big baby. All right.
So now's when you're small gardening. You can go through picking out your seeds, planting out your garden.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Garden catalogs are coming in on the regular here. Should have already had, now this is the South, should have already had your garlic and onions in the ground.
Yep.
Because that shortens that amount of period they're taking up space for other crops. Potatoes will grow in the ground next month.
Yeah, you be able to plant your potatoes. That is the white potatoes, or whatever
you want to call them. Not the sweet ones, the white potatoes.
You have to wait for real hot weather for the sweet potatoes.
Same for planting okra.
You can plant English peas here pretty quick.
Yep. Still got to plant.
That's what my daddy always called them. I know some people call them sweet peas and other, but my daddy
they
always
are English peas.
He always called them English peas, and
because that's what's in the can.
Yep. So let's see, or he also called them China berries.
Oh.
Oh, I don't know what that was, what that really come from. But
remember those cans I bought at the store that were pigeon peas, but they looked like the English peas?
Yeah.
They were not English peas. Never heard of a pigeon pea either.
Yeah.
I think we still have a can of those.
Yeah. So, other things right now would be a good time to repair your fences.
Mm-hmm.
Be a good time to repair fences.
Fence building is for winter, not summer.
Yeah. When I was growing up, when we were farming big, and what I mean by that, my daddy was farming a lot of land, and we had a lot of cows, and did my friends and stuff. Winter times when we done fence repair, you can see what you're doing.
Yep.
Of course, you're not burning up hot.
Yep.
The ground usually digs easier, softer. So
especially here in the South where we have that clay. What happens when you add heat to clay? brick.
Yeah, you're able to see what you're doing, especially if you got to put up a new fence through the woods or something. You can see what you're doing better, and you ain't got to worry about stepping on a rattlesnake or a copperhead.
Until it warms back up again.
Yeah, so we always try to do all our fence mending in the winter. Equipment repairs, that was tractors, farm equipment, whole 9 yards. It's just
And get you back to the small gardener, though.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I said get you back to it.
But well, a lot of people have little small fences and stuff around their property. So. And a lot of people have tractors.
Mm-hmm. And if they don't got a tractor, they have a tiller.
Tiller, yeah, good time to get it maybe to somebody and go ahead and get it running.
Mowers,
all that stuff. Good time before they get real busy in about a month and a half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get those worked on now because when you need it is when everybody else will realize theirs don't work either.
Go out there once a week and crank it and just run it for about 10 minutes to keep everything mixing good.
Yep.
And, that way, when it comes time, you catch a week, it's pretty.
You can get out there and do
right.
it.
You can jump out there and get with your stuff.
Yep.
And, all right, here we go. Put that out. Now cut that out. Cut it out.
Yeah, now we got the cat trying to come up.
Yeah. And then the dog gets excited.
Yeah. And if sister don't stop throwing this rope around.
Well, what else is going on?
Not a lot.
Well, I know I've said something about tomorrow, severe weather here in Alabama.
Y'all, I got Christmas. Right before Christmas, we were 9 degrees here. We have been in the 70s. How many days since Christmas? Most of them?
Most of them, yeah.
Most of them have been above 70s. I got plants starting to bloom again that should not be blooming. I got leaves starting to set. I've got plants setting buds to bloom. I mean, to do leaves. And they're fixing to all get snapped again with when that next cold front comes through. Which didn't you say that was coming soon?
Yeah, I think it's going down.
Or was that the other night?
No, it's going down 27 for this coming up Saturday.
Saturday, 27 degrees. And everything here is starting to bud out and bloom. Yeah. This is life in the South. I'm surprised anything makes it through winter.
This is a little bit unusual.
The 4 days was unusual. The 4 straight days was unusual.
Even I have noticed.
But one night at a time getting down to 27, that's not unusual because it don't stay there.
Well, no, but it was very strange to have the 70, 80 degree weather right before Christmas, then jump down. Mm-hmm. Then right after Christmas, come right back up. Yeah. And then we got into rainy weather and severe weather. We had tornadoes here in Alabama last week, tore up some places and wind damage. And then tomorrow, which now, this time of year is tornado season for Alabama, actually. We have a fall, which is usually November, December. Usually January, you don't have to worry about it too much, but and then it usually fires back up about March through June. But we're getting some severe weather in January, which don't see too often.
Okay, and, yes, go right ahead.
So
why not?
Yeah, she wants to be part of the conversation. Just a dog.
Jealous dog. That's what this is. Yeah. Jealous dog.
All right, quit. Get over here. Get down. Get down. Get down.
Let's see.
Just get down.
Water pipe bust. Yeah. I know
we were very fortunate.
People's pipes busted. My sister's busted. A couple of co-workers busted.
Yeah, she couldn't even find no pipe to fix hers for a few days around Rome, Georgia area.
Co-worker couldn't either.
Well, I went in Home Depot one day and the place was full. It was full
she
of
don't
PVC.
live here.
Well, yeah.
Or does she? I don't know.
I don't know. But, I mean, Home Depot here in Chicago was full of PVC pipe. And Van Zant's out on the highway, I could see it stacked up everywhere. Now, he may have got a bigger shipment in. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we were just saying, Flat Rock, going to drop below freezing again.
If I was
But it's not going to stay there. It's going to come back up.
Yeah, it's going to kind of bounce around.
It
If
won't
I
be
was,
4 days below freezing
All right, sister.
solid.
I mean, you could have come to Jesus meeting. Yeah.
Your copper line's busted.
Woo.
That was expensive.
I was gonna say, if it's where you can, and if you can afford it, I would always keep some extra pipe at home and fittings, especially PVC. It's not very expensive. I know a lot of people's on limited incomes, but if you had a little extra money, I'd go buy me some extra stuff and put it up. Know where it's at. Know what size your piping is. Know what your fittings are, and have it put somewhere back up for things like this, where because you never know, we may get another one before winter's over, and
that is part of homesteading, being prepared.
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying go have
no
100 pieces. I'm just saying
don't go buy Home Depot out.
Yeah,
just have a couple pieces here and there.
Yeah, if you got 3/4 inch PVC pipe, go buy you a couple sticks. Put it up if you got a shed, or lay it up under the house. You just put something over the end, like a piece of tape or something, where something can't crawl up in there and live. Just tape it that way dirt don't get in it too. Yeah. Just shove it up under the house and leave it there. And take your fittings and put them in a box or a sack or something, and know where they're at. And have that stuff kind of just in case. On the copper, I know it's kind of hard to go buy just spare copper and lay it around. But yeah,
that's what I would have done. Just cap that line off.
Yeah. What we done here, I pretty much shut all the water off.
Everywhere outside,
drained everything best I could.
Unhooked all the hoses.
Just pretty much, just drained it all.
We didn't get one hose drained good.
One hose, which I think that hose was getting weak anyway. But so we lost one hose pretty much through the whole thing.
We got lucky.
When you got stuff like that coming that we're not really prepared for, you just gotta do best you can. I know.
And what's funny is a lot of people had dripping faucets and stuff, and ended up with busted lines.
Yeah,
and we didn't have any dripping faucets and didn't have any busted lines.
Well, one thing else I did go around the house and make sure all the vents were shut.
Yeah.
And that's another thing you can do when cold weather's coming.
Shut them vents underneath.
If you have vents, go cover. If you don't have a vent closer, get you a piece of cardboard and put tape around or something, or a piece of board to keep that air.
I saw over there in the front one there was a board with a brick. I was like,
well, that vent don't work. I got to replace that vent. The little thing don't work no more. I got to replace it.
Yeah,
of course, when summer comes, you want to make sure you got them open.
Yeah.
Where your house can vent and dry out after Monday.
Yep. I know we got down to what in 17 was it that we got down to 5 or 2 or 11?
I think our lowest temperature was 9, but we had wind chills
in
below.
15.
Oh, in 15, yeah.
She said that they hadn't had temperatures that low since they built that enclosure or the add-on to the porch.
Right.
I know 15 or 17, whichever year that was, it got low.
Well, I'm gonna say.
I think I saw 10 that year.
I'm gonna say this, and I gotta be careful how I say this because of YouTube, because they look for certain words. Our weather, if you've really paid it attention, the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, it's been acting kind of funny. We had a drought for a while. Our ponds just finally got filled back up with this rain from last week, which was a mini flood here.
Yeah, it followed the floods we had back in June. We went from flood to drought to flood.
Yeah. I think we're going to see what you call weather extremes. And no, it's not from global warming. I'll tell you that right now. It's not from that. It's from other things that's going on in the universe. So we could see some more weird weather extremes. In other words, when it gets cold, it gets cold. When it gets hot, it gets hot. When it comes to rain, it's a flood. Or when it comes to snow, it might be a heck of a snow. Or if it happens to be an earthquake, it's going to be a good one. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Um, doesn't mean a lot of people think we're going into an ice age. No, I don't think we're going into an ice age. I just think we're going into a extreme weather events. So,
Guys, we have to do what we have to do to keep this dog pacified.
I don't know what it is. Every time we try to do a live,
she's jealous. We're not paying attention to her.
Yeah, she gets rowdy. Oh, me.
And we are definitely going to be in trouble.
Yeah, so
I'm holding a rope and she's playing tug of war.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is wintertime. This is when we get all of our gardens ready. This is, if you don't have a garden, this is when you start planting it. This is the perfect season to be building the raised beds, to be buying the raised beds if you're going to buy them. It is the perfect season to be filling those raised beds up, amending your soils, buying your seeds before they're all gone. You do not want to wait till March and April to buy those seeds, because you won't get those seeds probably, because everybody and their brother will be buying them on March and April when the garden bug hits them.
And if you're going to do raised beds, I know on the last slide we brought up about getting cattle tubs that people have the cattle feed in. Those work well.
Mm-hmm.
There's different ways to build raised beds. You can just build a raised bed. You only have to put a border around it. But it does do better if you do. You can use concrete blocks. You can use 2x6s. You can put 10 up. You can use logs. You can just go cut you some trees and use a log.
I've done that.
The bad thing about that, of course, over time it rots.
Yeah. Well, that's the bad thing about using wood for a raised bed to start with.
I would, if you could get away from wood, I would definitely quit using wood, but it's probably the most cheapest way to go right now.
Yeah, we built some out of pressure treated, and I know you're not supposed to use pressure treated on your garden stuff, but we did because they're not doing arsenic in the pressure treated anymore. Yeah. We did, but guys,
and I'm gonna tell you, you can tell the difference too.
Yes, you can, and that's what I was fixing to say. Consider what you're going to be filling those raised beds with when you build those raised beds, because we built them out of the pressure treated lumber, filled them up with rabbit poop and chicken manure and stuff like that, composted chicken manure. And those beds rotted in less than 3 years. Yeah, so
they did.
Rabbit poop is a major water holder, I would say. And if you're planning on having rabbits for manure in your compost bed, not your compost bed, your raised beds, it's a cold compost. It's awesome. But if you're going to plant like potatoes, don't plant them in rabbit poop. Right. It'll rot the potatoes. So.
One other thing I wanted to bring up before I forget about. Last week's fireside chat. We didn't put a video out. I did make a video. Went up to the lake on the hunting club.
Hey, Pat. Hey, Joe.
Walked around a little while. Filming. And by the way, Pat, you're not. Which Pat is it? Pat
Blue Eyed Northern.
Okay. Hey, how y'all? Hey, Pat and Joe. I had to keep up with which two Pats. Mm-hmm. So, went up to the lake on the club to do my fireside chats. Was videoing, knows that the phone was videoing because it has a little red light that blinks and it sits there to count. I'm paying attention to it as I'm walking around showing the lake what it looks like in the wintertime. Probably done 30 minutes of video. Come back to the truck. Heard what sounded like bipedal walking below the spillway of the dam. Shut the video off, went to thermal to see if I could catch something on thermal. Didn't catch nothing. Went back to filming with the regular phone. Came home, was on download it.
Look at there, we got deer out in the field now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, he's going out there to keep. But anyway, came home to download the video, and what's strange is half of it's gone.
Yep.
I mean, won't play. It shows this there, but it will not play.
Yep, it is.
This is the
what's the
video.
word?
Cannot play. That's all it said.
can't
So I
think
don't know
the
what
word
happened
is.
to that video. The second half's there, but I didn't want to download it because it wouldn't make
Corrupted.
sense.
The file is corrupted.
Yeah, I don't know how it got corrupted. It's weird. But after I looked around with the thermal, I went back to regular filming, and that film done fine. So I'm gonna try to go and try to remake that video and see what happens again. Because I pretty much know what I talked about. So I'll try to go back and then put it with that second part. So it may be a week or two before that and pops back up again.
He does need a new tech. Joe said you need new tech.
Yeah.
He needs somebody to film for him.
Well,
but we think something zapped it, maybe.
yeah, I was trying not to come out and say that, but
I know.
I was trying to
make you look better.
It's weird that the camera, and I know it was videoing, because like I said, it's got a little red dot that blinks when it's recording. Also, I had the recorder going. It was up there on the truck, but there was bipedal movement below the spillway when I got back to the truck, and because I even commented, I just heard something. I commented that I was going to flip the thermal, and I did take the thermal through that area. Couldn't really pick up no heat signature, except for the trees and rocks.
Hey, let me interrupt real quick.
Okay.
Kathy's leaving us. Hey, Kathy, I'm not sure what you mean by nice seeing us back on here. We are here every Friday, and we've been most Tuesdays, and we just changed the schedule to homesteading on Mondays, live on Wednesdays, and Mark is still doing fireside chats on Friday. I am still off of Facebook. I'm not on Facebook still, but we are on YouTube. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're still putting out videos. Get your insulation you're getting tomorrow, and for that remaining pipe. And we'll talk to you later.
Yeah,
you have a good night.
So anyway, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
But if I go back up there and it does it again, then I'm on to something.
Oh, we weren't popping up on our YouTube for some reason.
Oh, okay. Well, YouTube is weird.
YouTube's weird.
It comes and goes. That's like some of the people I watch.
Yeah.
Sometimes I won't see nothing of theirs for a week or two. Then all of a sudden they're all ours.
Yep.
Kind of, their
algorithms just
it's weird. It's weird, and two, we're not a big channel, so
No.
It's not going to show up a lot, like it does with a lot of other people. When you got
what Pat just said. Sometimes if you unsubscribe and then resubscribe, it'll reset it.
Huh? That's interesting. I didn't know that. But anyway, going back to the lake real quick. I'm gonna go back and video again. If it happens again, then I know something's up. But it's kind of like when I was videoing here behind the house and some stuff started happening.
Ooh, talking about the house.
All right, sister, you are getting on my nerves. Talking about the house.
Stuff been going on again.
Yeah, well, you tell it. You're the one that's been happening to.
We got stuff in the front yard now. Sister's going crazy at night.
Well, kind of explain that a little bit.
So we'll be sitting here, like last night specifically. Mark had gone to work, and we wasn't working yet.
No, I went to the city council meeting.
Went to the council meeting, and put an alert up for lives. I wish we could.
What now?
I I have to remember to make that community post, and I just never remember. But it's going to be every Wednesday at 6. Um,
But get your hand out from over your mouth.
okay.
There you go. It muffles you.
I was reading.
Oh, okay.
And then when I started talking, I was like,
Yeah.
I pulled it away. And I need to quit the pointing. That's what I need to quit doing. So Mark was headed to the council meeting. It had just gotten dark. As soon as he left and it was dark, Sister started growling and barking like crazy and going over to the door, wanting to be let out. I didn't, of course, let her right out. I got up and kind of peeked out and then opened the door and, all that stuff. And then when I opened the door wide, Sister took off. So she sniffed around the sidewalk in the front yard, and then she darted to the left and started sniffing around out there around the corner of the fence on this side of the house. We have the whole front yard fenced in, basically. So she went this way and was sniffing around, and it was driving her insane. And I eventually brought her back in, and I think I looked around. No, I can't remember if I looked around with the spot. Yes, I did. I took the spotlight out there that time, and I didn't see anything. I didn't walk out there. I just stood right there on the porch looking. So then we came back in, and then the second time was after you went to work, wasn't it?
Yeah, you called me at work.
Right. Something is going on with the computer. It's saying that there's a USB cord plugged in, and there's not. But anyway, after he went to work, Sister started the growling and raising Cain again. And so this time, I opened the door. I looked out the windows, checked everything. I let her out again. And she did the same thing, went immediately this way, made the lap up to the road and back down all on this side of the house. Well, then I came back in and just dropped the blinds because, whatever she's seeing outside, I wanted it to stop, whatever it was. So she did it one more time. And I called Mark. I was like, look, Mark, I know you're at work, but I said, she is having a hissy fit in here. And there's nothing I can see outside. So we got up this morning. I had a doctor's appointment, and we came back, and there is an obvious trail where something walked. We don't know what. Something. We're going to leave it as something. The dirt was bare of leaves, and we have not got leaves up out there yet, and we haven't been getting leaves up out there in a while. So wherever leaves were should have been in that spot as well. It was on both sides of the trail. Why not that spot? And then when I was shining the light last night, I looked at the side fencing over here is a cattle panel stood up because we needed to be able to make it move to get the tractor into the front yard. And I noticed a gap where the fence was not touching the house anymore. And I showed it to Mark this morning, and we noticed some matted down area around that fence part. And then I noticed this afternoon where something had been standing under the bushes in the front yard because there was leaves on the ground that weren't under any other spot either.
It looks like something stood looking into the utility room.
Yep.
I'm probably going to end up having to put a camera back on front of the house again.
Which we noticed tonight that the light isn't picking up correctly.
What light?
The porch light.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's like you have to be on the porch for the light to come on.
Yeah. Well, it touched the doorsteps and it. Well, I got one of those motion bulbs in there, which is supposed to pick up about 20 foot. So I don't know why it's not.
But it picks up as soon as I open that door.
Yeah.
The motion of opening that door sets it off every time.
But anything steps on that porch is going to set it off. But
that's what it's not doing.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I need to check the setting on it. I don't know. Now, all our solar lights are still working.
I definitely careful with her out there. I always check before she goes out to make sure it's not still there. Oh, and we had the gate open the other day when Mark come home. He asked, "You leaving the gate open?" I was like, "No."
Yeah, and that gate won't open with the wind or anything. It has to be because it's got a chain that goes through a notch, and
it has to be physically.
because back when we were back in early fall, when we was having a lot of activity, I actually heard that gate open one night. I heard that chain rattle. So, it's probably that cycle. And maybe why I'm not getting as many deer on my game camera here in the last week or so. I mean, my deer I've got a cellular game camera, so as soon as it takes a picture, it sends it
Flat
to my
Rock
phone.
said his and his brother's dogs have been going off the last 2 nights too.
Yeah. So the cycle's probably happening. I do think. Oh boy, how to get into this?
I have always said that there is a cycle of the way things move.
Well, we know deer and turkeys and other animals do.
They have a movement.
They have an area they work. Let's say a buck deer can go in a 12-mile radius. They say turkeys will
moon phase.
Well, yeah, moon has a lot to do with that. Also, food has a lot to do with that.
One of our previous
also when breeding time comes in, causes some issues, or stuff like that. So I know a buck, usually when they are in rut, they'll really make a wide circle, and because they're hunting for available does. Also, they like to fight other bucks, for territory. I don't know if these beans are the same way or not. I don't know, because nobody really knows. So I can, we all have opinions on it. I do think they have some of them may have some cycles. I think sometimes maybe your older ones and maybe females may stay in one general area that's home to them, and your juvenile males and maybe juvenile females and some of the bigger males are maybe getting out hunting food sources. I don't know. I know there's some guys hitting on some of that.
Well, I know at that house where you lived when we first met, it had the paranormal and the Bigfoot activity both. And when there was paranormal up at the house, there was not Bigfoot in the back. But when the Bigfoot was in the back, there wasn't paranormal up at the front. It's like it did a cycle.
Yeah, it kind of did. It's kind of weird. I know, like my house when I lived on.
Miss Sam, it's good to have you on here. You have a good night.
So, I don't know. I'm going to talk more about it on Fireside Chats. I know a lot of people that come on here for this one's probably coming more on for homesteading.
Wednesday is both.
Yeah. So
Wednesday's whatever we talk about.
Yeah. So
anything goes.
Because I know a lot of people are not believers and they don't really want to hear about it, but there's a lot to this that I hate to get off too deep into the subject on the live. I am going to do some Fireside Chat lives where we just talk about that, but it's I think there is some of them traveling. I don't think all of them, but some of them. But, and that might be in my area. They may totally do something different in other areas. But if you got a big home, I'll put it this way. If you got a big home of 10,000 acres and there's a food source in that home, there's plenty of water, there's plenty of cover. You've got some human activity on it, but it's mostly just hunting. And they learn to adapt when we're hunting. You're not really going to leave it. Why would you leave it? Now, like I said,
other than preserving the food source.
Yeah. Now you might have to stretch out a little bit to where you don't
Eat a little bit
deplete
here,
your food
Eat a little
source
bit
right
here,
there.
and
You
eat a little
got.
bit here. Eat a little bit here.
So I don't know. We'll talk some more about that on the fireside. I'll got some different things I'm going to talk about over the next few weeks. And like I said, I got to try to get back up to the lake and redo that video. And you know, all right, sister, we're going to be still.
Oh no, we're not.
All right. Yep. See what I'm saying by young? It's just like one.
It's awful.
Get the belly rubbing going, and I keep her calm for a while. So.
I got to get Ella to trim them claws.
Yeah. So.
Well, babe.
No licking. No licking.
What else we got for tonight?
I don't know. I think we're after 7.
We are. It's 7.
Yeah,
7:19 actually.
Get ready to do the work thing.
Yeah. That's why I was asking. Are we back?
And Joe, if you're still on here, I apologize for not calling you. I forgot to call you.
Shame.
Send me a message or a text what shift you're on, and when you're working. I don't know.
All right, sister. Them teefies.
I forgot to them teethies.
Them teefies. They keep going for your hand.
You can do that, and she'll quit for a little while. I don't know why. All right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching her with your foot earlier. She kept trying to chew on your foot.
I know. She won't bite down though.
No, but. Nights, Wednesday, Thursday.
All right.
Oh, night coin. I didn't even see that one. Yes, that is an attention hound. She's definitely jealous. I think we probably ought to just go ahead and wrap her up, Mark.
Yeah, because I got to get ready for work.
And everybody's ready to go their separate ways too. So we've run out of steam here. It seems like.
Well, you've had a long day at work.
Yeah.
And
I'm hungry. I have not ate yet.
Yeah, I can tell. Anyway, I hope y'all have enjoyed it tonight, and you know, we'll start doing this every Wednesday night. We'll get off to a better start. I mean, we started off. Me and her got to think of things, and y'all got to bring us some good questions. Mm-hmm. That really helps with a live. If y'all can think of some stuff during the week for the next live, if you like when this is over, go comment, and that gives us something to really. Because I can sit here and talk about different things that y'all might not even be interested in. So, but anyway, hopefully this Friday I'll have a fireside chat video up. I don't know. Well, I kind of do know what I'm going to talk about. So, but I got to give updates on some other different things. But and I've got to still see if I can get a hold of Kenny. Because see what's going on. Because we're supposed to go down there and where he's seen that one at.
Yep.
So, but anyway, y'all remember some of the other channels that we support? Deep South. Perma Pastures, Discover Sasquatch, Woods Walkers with a Z, Encrypted Connections. There's
Beast TV.
Beast TV, Inhumanoids with Barton Nunley. Is there any other homesteaders? Oh, the Living Traditions.
Oh yeah,
they still got a good channel, and
I love Holler Homestead.
Holler Homestead, y'all go check them out. They're a younger group of homesteaders,
and they're really doing it from scratch.
Most of it, yeah. It's about 99% of it. He does it from scratch. He did finally get him a tractor.
Yep.
Which that ain't.
He needed it.
If you don't have power,
Holler Homestead is one that doesn't have 4 high tunnels already and all the stuff that most of us can't afford.
Yeah.
That's what I like about Holler Homestead.
he starts from scratch and
Mhm.
tries to use what he's got and not knocking the people's.
They're a
rights.
channel you should really watch from the beginning because they actually lived in a camper. They moved here from,
California.
not here, but to their area from California. And they drove around in a camper looking for the perfect place. And when they finally found it, they had to do a lot of remodeling and everything. And so they lived in the camper and they videoed from start to finish everything they have done getting their homestead up and running. So
that with 4 boys.
Yeah, with 4 boys. Yep.
And now they got a girl.
Yep, they got a little one running
They
around
got
now
5,
too.
but they
Yeah. Now that is the downside of why we can't do what all these other channels do. They have tons of support and family and extra hands. It's me and Mark.
Well,
Yeah.
And we're not knocking them, so please don't say
no. Don't think that.
We're not knocking them.
No, but it's why we don't do all the things we want to do. We don't have the extra hands to get it all done.
That and some of it's money. I mean, it takes money to do a lot of
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta you gotta be able to get your hands on material, and you gotta have somebody to help.
Yep.
Plus, the way I work kind of throws a niche.
And that's kind of what I was saying is the way you work, and now I'm working, and we don't have kids helping out and parents helping out, and like a lot of the homesteaders do. That you don't realize how important that is. That extended family and support system,
It is.
But it's very important.
Very important.
Next time, shoot 2 times.
Sister.
Holler, get out of there. There you go.
Sister.
Shoot twice and holler. And they said don't forget Hellbent Holler.
Yeah, Hellbent Holler. I got some good content too.
I think Deep South and Holler Homestead is my favorites. I like living. I like living traditions, but they've kind of gotten out of my budget.
But Farmer Pastures,
people,
he does a lot of stuff from scratch too, which he does the permaculture type.
Yeah, and that's important.
Yeah, he does you really need to go check him out. He lives up on a mountainside. He's got a nice homestead going. He's down to earth fella. I like the way he talks and the way he thinks, what he looks at. He's got some good stuff going. And another one I was watching was Metcalf Mills, but he has not put a video out since Thanksgiving. I don't know what's going on with Justin. He may be busy trying to build them grist mills for everybody.
He might be.
He done this sorghum syrup, and that was pretty much it. So, I don't know what's going on with that one.
Yeah.
But, I guess we better get off here.
Yep.
So, well, I'll be back hopefully Friday with a fireside chat, and
Monday with a homesteading.
And we'll be back on Wednesdays with
6 p.m. with a live.
And I am planning to do some fireside chats. I don't know when we'll do them on. May have to do that on a Saturday or something.
We'll just do the fireside chat itself live. Friday.
Yeah. I'd like to do something from the club if I could.
Make sure that service is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is some places I can do it from the club. I couldn't do it from the lake though.
No, there's no service at the lake.
But up on the mountain. And I want to get up there and do some videos from people right now since the leaves are off. They can actually see what that club really looks like. And
those are some you need to do some lives with.
Yeah.
So maybe you ought to just plan to go live Friday.
Well, I need some help.
Oh, yeah, I'll be at work. Yeah. All righty.
And I ain't talking about technical help. It's just,
help.
Yeah.
So. Cameras, mics, all that good stuff. Yep. And sister control.
Yep.
All right. Y'all know the routine. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
And give us some comments.
Yeah.
Give us some
comments is important.
And give us some stuff that you'd like to talk about next week. That way me and her can be studying on it and maybe have you an answer or like I said, we're not experts. but I'll try to tell you what I know,
Yep.
which ain't much. So,
I went to school for gardening. Well, not for gardening, but for horticulture. But I don't know everything. I do not. And sometimes experience and science are two different things.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So that's it for us. We will be out of here. We will see y'all later, guys.
y'all, bye-bye, and have a
Bye.
good week.
Okay, there's a mouse somewhere. There it is.